All right, so guys, when you're feeling fatigued or when you're feeling like when you're feeling something tight, when you feel something that's inhibited, like let's say I don't know, it's after a game or it's after a performance or it's after practice or like you didn't get good sleep or you didn't get good food or whatever it is, right? What can help you to return to a period of recovery? And I know that this is kind of like difficult to wrap the head around because I mean it was for me for a long time too, of like trying to train to recover when it would feel like just training more would make me more tired, right? And it didn't really make any sense. But when the way that this works, like when you're tired, when you're fatigued, when you've had that game, when you've had that whatever it is, right? If we can train you in a way in which you actually return your tissues to length and you return them to the position that they are, that they operate best from, that like going through that process actually recovers you. And so just like an example of that, like let's say I go serve 120 tennis serves, right? Or 200 tennis serves or whatever it is. And I come back and like there's something a little off with the shoulder, something's a little off with the elbow. There's something a little off with my breath. There's something a little off with like my thoughts in terms of like my thoughts are stuck on something, right? There's whatever it is, right? There's these things that happen from that performance as an effect of that performance that tend to then limit you. So what I can do is I can go into like, let's say a slow lower deep push-up. And when I start in that slow lower deep push-up, I'm gonna feel all that stuff that's off, right? Like something's off the shoulder, something's off the elbow, something's off with in terms of the way that I'm thinking, something's off in terms of my breath, right? I'm going to feel that, I'm going to experience that as I start that slow lower deep push-up. But as I work into that, as I start to like lower into that and I'm actually utilizing my musculature in the way that's designed to be used, and I'm pulling myself down into that position, I keep going, I keep going, I keep pulling, I keep pulling, I keep pulling, I keep pulling, I go for 3 to 5 minutes. So I'm cycling through all those different energy systems, right? I get to that 3 to 5 minutes, I'm as deep as I can possibly go. There's certain tissues that are maximally shortened, there's other tissues that are maximally lengthened, and then I'm able to press back up out of that. In getting to that point, I'm going to have to work through a process, whatever it is that I'm thinking. I'm going to have to work through a process, whatever it is that I'm feeling. I'm going to have to work through a process the way that I'm breathing, right? Otherwise, if I don't, I'm going to fail. And so by getting to the point where I successfully do that, that then resets the system. And so this is my point, is like things can get inefficient when you go and do your performance, when you go and throw, when you go and sprint, when you play your game, whatever it is, like things can get inefficient through that because it's performance and it's chaotic. It'd be great if we were like, oh, it's a perfect world and that doesn't happen, but it does happen where things get inefficient when you go perform. And so training in this way is a way to bring you back to that efficiency, which is the recovery, right? This is how stimulus recovers you, because if you get inefficient in a performance, like literally if you go perform, if we make it physical, if you go perform and the muscle of, let's say that's around your elbow joint, like let's say you go through the muscle around your elbow joint is now chronically like shortened and can't actually lengthen. That's what I mean by inefficient. We can make that efficient again by fully shortening, fully lengthening that so that it's actually returned and it's recovered, right? That's like the definition of a recovered muscle is like full length or fully lengthened or fully shortened. And so we can utilize things like the slow lowers to do that, right? Where you literally put yourself in a position where you have to shorten or you have to fully lengthen that, and that then recovers your system. And that's stimulus that recovers your system. If you were to just go do something like throw again that was inefficient again, that would not recover you. So like there's different types of stimulus, right? But if we're stimulated in a way in which it actually recovers you, where you're asked to go through all the different energy systems, you're asked to pull into deep ranges or end ranges, you're asked to process through whatever is getting in the way of that happening, then that is what actually recovers you, right? So that's what I mean when, I mean, you don't have to believe it. You don't have to think that it's true or it can happen. You can think that it's bullshit or whatever. It's just like, because sometimes I struggle with it too. Like I'll say like it's not always perfect when I'm doing slow lower, like or other stuff that I do. So it's not like it's always perfect, but there are gradients, right? There's like gradients of you get better at it and you get better at it and you get better at it. And as you get better at it, you can actually go perform more. Like you can go do more because you get better at recovering your system. So, yeah, it's not something that you have to do. It's not something that you have to try. It's not even something that you have to believe. I'm just communicating what I'm going through as I attempt to improve this process for myself.